Hello and welcome to episode 11 of Hybrid Fitness Report. My name is Paul Reynolds,
Name is Jude Reynolds.
and last week we were together in the same place. The week before that, I was 6 hours behind you, and I'm now 7 hours ahead of you. So after that brief and exciting
Where are you
co-presenting,
now?
I am currently in Singapore,
Singapore.
where your previous complaints about it's late at night for you and midday for me is now the other way around. So I'm jet
Yeah.
lagged up the wazoo. Not knowing what day it is, never mind what time it is.
There are certain times of the year where you could be, one of 12 places. So it's one of those times of the year that I just have no idea where you are for the next month.
Exactly. Which is made my weekend workouts quite interesting, but we'll get onto that in a second. So the main feature this week is looking at 10 tips for your first Hyrox. The reason we're going into that this week is that this weekend marks the first UK event of the Hyrox season. So lots of UK folks been traveling around to other events, but this is the first one on the home soil. And we've got our usual weekend workouts and workout of the week and so forth. So let's jump in straight with a review of what's been going on in the hybrid fitness world this week. And big focus has been on the Hyrox Valencia event, hasn't it, Jude?
Yeah, so this weekend was nothing huge. It was just one event as far as I'm aware in terms of Hyrox. Few names stood out over the weekend, similar to last week. Charlie Waddle, as well as put down a confirming time, which just in this context, meaning he's now qualified for the Elite 15 major. Both of his times now, I think, put him 13th in the world. And he actually raced twice over the weekend, one of which, his second of which being 58 high. So, I mean, yeah, again, another good weekend for him. Other than that, we had Thomas Tverdick, a current Elite 15 athlete who also raced, and John Wynn coming in second and third in that same race. So just three of the big names racing this weekend as far as I'm aware. And then other than Charlie, the winner of my age group, so second place in my age group, sorry, Sam. Sam Schumann coming in at 59.40, so a really respectable time. Raced against him at Worlds, raced against him at Warsaw last year, which was a close race. And yeah, he put down a solid time. One of the, I think, 7 people in the 16 to 24 that's come under the hour mark so far this year. So yeah, some good times over the weekend for that.
Right. And so for the weekend workouts, as you hinted at, I've been kind of all over the place. So I've been in the last 7 days working out in Cayman and in Scotland and in Singapore. In Scotland, that meant I could run outside for an hour and a half without getting completely dehydrated. So it was supposed to be a 5 mile easy run, but I got on the coast outside St Andrews and it was just fantastic and hilly and
I was going to say, you probably don't even need music running with a view like that.
Yeah, I definitely could have done without it because it's what's encouraging is I'm getting to the point where running to see things is fun. If I want to see that thing that's 2 miles down that road, so for example, the Chariots of Fire beach is on the other side of St Andrews. So I'd done my 5-6 miles. I thought, I'll carry on because I'd like to run on that bit of beach and then get back to the hotel. So an encouraging sign about fitness that I haven't had for a few years of randomly running further than I needed to for a workout. So it's been a struggle though, because I mean, as I say, the jet lag's pretty awful. So trying to work out without doing it when I'm half asleep. So I did one workout at 3 a.m. a few nights ago. This morning I was running by about 5:30 a.m. because again I was jet lagged. So I'm trying not to hurt myself.
With me, unless a very particular circumstance comes around, for me we're quite opposite. I think I'm opposite to most people in the sense that I don't like running if I don't know where I'm going. So when I go on my long runs, when I'm around here, I know exactly the route I'm going. I know what I'm going to pass. I know even the side of the road I'm going to run on and everything. I like knowing where I'm going, how far I'm going, and the route I'm taking. Whereas you could just like go out and go, I'm going to run for like an hour. And then like because when we go traveling like as a family, we go into a hotel, you'll just run. And I'm like, I hate that. I'd so much rather, it's weird, run on a treadmill for 90 minutes than go and just run somewhere I don't know. Because I'm just, I like planning, I like lists, like all this type of stuff in my head, I like ordered. And I don't like doing that. Whereas most people I feel would be like, oh, a new city, let's go on a run and explore it. Like, no, I'll go on a walk with some people and like maybe go and explore the city that way. But for some reason, really, it makes me really uneasy doing that. So I think, very different in that way.
Yeah, and when I'm not feeling fit, I would want to map out exactly so I don't go an inch further than I have to. I'm only like this when I've got some fitness and I just want to see some more stuff. So, so yes. Anything else from you on the week of your workouts?
I had a long run to this morning actually, 18K, 90 minutes with some strides at the end. So that's my weekly 90-minute to 100-minute done. Other than the strength and classic threshold workouts this week, I've been doing a lot of high-end speed work. So a lot of my intervals have been at 320 to 330 per kilometer pace to try and get exposed to that sort of pace that I'm not used to. Because on next weekend, when I've got my race with Kieran Parkinson, that's the pace that we're going to try and run at, anywhere between 325 to 330 per lap. So just trying to condition myself to being able to cope with doing stations intermittently, running a kilometer at that pace is going to be tough. But trying to get used to that.
Cool. So for last week's workout of the week, you had us doing 100 cals on the assault bike, or you had people supposed to do 100 cals on the assault bike, interspersed with devil presses every minute on the minute. Except I haven't seen an assault bike, so I managed to skip that one. So how did you get on when you did it?
I did it in just over 7 minutes, I believe. I didn't actually have my watch on me when I was doing it, so I couldn't see where I was relative to the time, but I came in at just over the 7-minute mark. Think I could have pushed the assault bike a bit more because I never really work in calories. I do sometimes. Sometimes I work in calories, but I'm still not as fluent in that language, so to speak, as I am in splits. So per 500 or per 1,000 on the bike. So I'm still getting used to how much effort I put in, the return I get, per 20 seconds, for example. Pacing in terms of calories is going to take some time to get used to, but it came in just around over that 7-minute mark.
Right. And what have you got for us this week? And is there a chance I'll be able to see the right equipment?
You'll definitely be able to see the right equipment. It's a very simple one this week. It's 5 rounds of a 60-second optionally weighted plank and immediately 30 Russian twists with anywhere from 10 to 15 kilograms. So 60-second plank, optionally weighted, immediately followed by 30 Russian twists with a 60-second rest, 5 rounds.
And how do you weight a plank?
My favorite way to do it is with weight plates, so not sandbags or anything. Lower back. The higher up you put it, the more the weight's just going to come straight through your arms. But if you push the weight down towards your bum or your hips, that's going to make your core engage a bit more when you do that. So that's a good point on the placement, is make sure that's on the lower back side of things. And then for the 10 to 15 kilograms, I use a dumbbell or a kettlebell for that one. Simple. So you should have the equipment for this. And if not, you can just do it all body weight. That works.
So describe a Russian twist, because I don't know what one of those is.
You sit, if you start in a seated position with your legs bent, so your heels dug into the floor, you then optionally, makes it a little bit harder, but optionally lift your heels off the floor. So you're still sat up with your legs bent and then slightly off the ground, lean back slightly, take the weight, and then move it slowly from side to side in line with your torso. So don't move your hands individually. You have to move your torso with your hands and turn your whole body around to the side and keep the movement really.
Your pelvis has to be stuck to the floor in position.
Yeah, you're going to be sat down and just only rotate to the chest.
It's all about the controlled torque of your back, then, the torso.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Yes, I remember that now, and coming a hopeless cropper when I tried to lift my feet in the air. That was a total non-starter. So yeah. Okay. And is that, presumably that's not a for time thing? That's just to do it.
No,
right?
That's take your time, keep to the rest period, and controlled movements.
Okay, cool. So before we get into our main feature of looking at tips for the first Hyrox, a reminder that this week's podcast is sponsored by WoDLETE. Founded by an Ironman athlete with a passion for functional fitness, WoDLETE clothing is designed to be with you throughout your fitness journey. From starting out to competing, from beginner to elite, and with clothing and accessories to help you on your journey. Go to wodlete.co.uk. That's WODLETE.co.uk for global shipping and free delivery on all UK orders over £50. Use code HFRPOD20, HFRPOD20 for 20% off your order. And you are wearing one of their t-shirts, and I'm wearing one of
I
their
am.
special t-shirts right now with our pod name on it as well. What color is that? I can't tell from the screen.
I don't know. It's like a dark lavender. I think I like the color, and
Yeah, suits you.
I got a bigger size because I prefer the baggy fit. But it's a good material. It's just the colors. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you again to WoDLETE, taking us on to our feature again. Because it's the coming up to the weekend of the first UK Hyrox of the season, thought it'd be a good time to do sort of 8 main headings of just tips, things to remember as you go into your first or one of your first Hyroxes. The first one, perhaps the most important one, is to make sure you know the rules before you get there. Especially some of the key places where you can get penalised. So you know, if you got introduced to Hyrox maybe a year ago, you probably heard about some of the penalties then. Well, a lot has changed since then. So first thing is that Jude and I are going to kind of run through for you key ways not to get penalised at the various different stations. So first of all, the first station is the ski erg, and the key thing to remember here to not get penalised is wait until the counter hits 1,000 meters before you step off the ski erg plate. And again, most of these penalties are 15 seconds. Is that right, Jude? Most of them?
The minor ones, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the ski erg. Second,
Is the sled push. So the whole of the sled, just make sure that it gets all the way over the line. When you're tired, it's tempting to just, I'll just push it here a little bit and then go back. If you push it, go back, and the judge notices, you don't get pulled back on it. They just add penalties to you. So if you just skip it just because you think no one will notice, there's a judge usually at each end, and they probably will notice. So just make that effort to make sure it's all the way over.
okay. Third station, the sled pull. Keep your feet inside the box. So you'll see when you get there, if you're not aware of it already, that for the sled pull there is a box in which you're allowed to stand. And the important thing to note here is that the lines on the outside of that box are deemed foul ground, if you like. There, you cannot touch the lines. Your feet have to be clear of the lines on the inside. Otherwise, again, you'll get a warning first, and the second infraction, even if it's just half a toe over, they'll likely penalise you. So keep inside the box.
It's better to not touch it at all, let alone only start pulling when you're inside it. Because my doubles partner Michael, when he raced a few weeks ago, he said to me that he touched the line but wasn't pulling, then stepped back and pulled. But because he even touched it with the rope in his hand, the judge penalized him. Now technically that's not a rule,
Wow.
and that's poor from the judge, but it's just a way in which you can avoid that risk at all. So just when you enter the box, don't even touch the rope. Make sure you're inside the box, then start grabbing the rope.
Okay.
The next one is the burpees. So takeoff being parallel is what we want. So that just means when you jump, your feet have to be level, toes have to be level before you take off. Lots of clips on Instagram are seeing people taking off with staggered feet, meaning one in front of the other. The likelihood is the reason that they stand out is because nowadays it's not common to get away with that like you were able to. So just make sure bring your feet up to your hands is an easy way. You can see where your hands are very clearly when you put them down on the ground. So when you jump back before you step up, maybe bring your feet to your hands to make sure that they're parallel. And also make sure that your bottom of your palm, or the heel of your palm, is no more than 30 centimeters in front of your toe when you place it down to the ground. So just don't put your hands too far out in front of you. Make sure that they're close to your feet when you put them down. If you want to be extra careful, place them right in front of your feet. Then you're never going to get penalized. But if you're competing and you're wanting to sort of push that boundary a little bit, 30 centimeters from the heel of your hand to your toe.
And for the row erg, when you're starting, make sure your feet are inside the straps before you even touch the handle. And when you're leaving, again, like the ski erg, the counter has to be at 1,000 meters before you even get your feet out of the straps, never mind standing up.
Definitely. And with farmers carry, put the kettles back upright and inside the box where you got it. There are different weights for different categories. If you put your weight inside someone else's box, so say you're doing men pro and you put it back in the Filmo open box, it's obvious the kettlebells aren't labeled the same as yours, so don't put them back there. Make sure they stand upright before you leave or you'll get penalized. Make sure you put them back in the correct box or you'll be penalized.
and that actually rewards doing it slowly, because there's plenty of people who put it in the right box in the right place, but they're in such a rush that the thing fell over as they left and they got penalised. Next one up, sandbag lunges. Your knee must touch the ground when you lunge, and the legs must lock or straighten. You got to get full hip extension basically when you stand up, and you cannot put the bag down at any point. And this is one of the seriously severe ones. What is there a penalty for the first infraction, or is it just that you get fired out of a cannon for the second infraction?
I think it's just a warning, and then the second you're gone. So
yeah, and by gone,
disqualified.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's an oddly heinous punishment compared to everything else.
There seems to be 15-second penalties with every other sation, and this one you're just I think someone did something to a judge in the past, and
they must have dropped a sandbag
got some
on a
sort of
judge's
trauma
head
from
once.
it. Yeah. Don't know what's going on.
And the last station,
wall balls. So the most controversial station, debatably, but hip crease to go below your knees. So you've heard squatting below parallel, you've heard get low. Just make sure at the bottom position of your wall ball that your hips are below your knees. There are many different techniques to look at for this. I would just work in what feels right for you in your range of motion. Get used to squatting without a weight. Get used to squatting a lot without a weight to make sure that you are bringing your hip crease below your knees.
And for the runs, just to state the obvious, but don't miss a lap. I mean, we all get confused about counting to 2 or 3. Or the elites had to count to 5 recently, and the 2 leaders were conferring about what lap they were on at one point. So it can happen to anybody, but make sure the anybody isn't you.
With that one, you can't fully trust it, so don't depend on it. But that screen that you'll always see before you turn into the in will have what you're going to do next, whether it's run another or whether it's go in. So if in doubt, I would look at that, and if you're really not sure, then just go by what the screen says. Don't rely on it. But
you're referring to a massive digital screen on the corner of the track, which, if there are few of you on the corner, it's brilliant because you can see your name. If there's about 30 of you going around it, as there was several times with me, you're lost in a sea of names. But if you can see your name up there, it is helpful information. Okay, so I just want to run through those quick headings again. So the first tip being, make sure you know where the rules and the penalties. Ski erg, wait for the counter to hit 1,000. Sled push, make sure the whole of the sled get past the end. Sled pull, keep your foot inside the box. Burpees, level feet for when you jump, and heel of your palm no more than 30 centimeters in front of you when you squat back. Row erg, don't take your feet out the straps before the count is at 1,000, and don't touch the handle until your feet are in the straps when you start. Farmer's carry, kettlebells back upright in the right place. Sandbag lunges, knees got to touch the ground, and full hip extension when you stand up. Wall balls, hip crease below your knees, and running, count the laps. So those are the know your penalties. Second tip for your first Hyrox, get to the venue at least 90 minutes before your wave is due to start. I mean, part of that is just because when you walk into a Hyrox event, it'll, for almost all of you, races have been happening, and there's an enormous buzz about the place. It's very noisy. There are thousands of people, all of whom seem to know exactly where they're going when you don't. So it can be quite intimidating just to walk in on that. So you just kind of need time to enjoy the buzz of it when your race is still a ways off, and then calm down again and have a chance to watch a few waves before you get to yours. I think a lot of it is just being able to be calm involves being there appreciably early, right?
Yeah, I think the 90 minutes is a good time frame to mix between having plenty of time to warm up, having plenty of time to get all your admin done in terms of your chip and your race number, and also learning the map a little bit, seeing it in real life, seeing where athletes run in and out of that we'll get into in a little bit. But it just a good combination of all of those, not getting there too close to the time, not getting there way too ahead of time. 90 minutes seems to be the sweet spot for that.
Yeah, as you say, that links with this with kind of hint number 3, which is to study the course map. I know you tend to spend many a happy hour staring at the course map, and the Birmingham course map came out yesterday or the day before. So you usually don't know exactly what the course is going to look like until a week before. They're all similar, but they're also all different enough that you want to have a good look at it, because a lot of the configurations inside the buildings are slightly different. The stations might not be in quite the same order. You might not be going in at quite the same place. You want to check how many laps you're doing. So have a good study of it beforehand, and then as Jude, as you said, once you're there, have a look at the course. Ideally, kind of, if there's a viewing point above, look down at the whole course with your course map in mind, and just visualize it. Because what you really don't want to be doing is trying to think through, what am I supposed to be doing? Where am I supposed to be doing it while you're racing? Because all the blood's left your brain after about 10 minutes anyway. So all the blood left your brain at the
Ideally.
sled push, probably.
Yeah, but yeah, I think seeing it in person is different. Like I can study the course map for hours, which I do, but it's
Yes.
different to being there. The map doesn't obviously tell you at the end of each station what direction do you go to go out. So there are just little things like that. When I finish the sled push, do I go left or right to exit the station? When I finish sled pull, do I go left or right before I exit the station? So just
That's why it's
little
good to watch. Good to
nuances.
watch some people doing the racing,
Yeah,
right? Because you'll see, and you will
yeah,
see someone go the wrong way if you watch it
yeah,
for 10 minutes. So
yeah.
yeah.
So I always purposefully look at each station, watch at least a handful of people finish each station to see where they go out, instead of just, so basically see the direction that you leave each station at.
So hint number 4 is know exactly what stretches you're going to do. Have a stretch routine mapped out. When you get into the warm-up area, which you might want to be in from 30 to 45 minutes before your wave is due to start, do all your stretches first. Just find a spot on the floor, ignore everybody else, and do all your stretches. Hopefully that will take you a good 10 to 15 minutes. Then after that, you will see multiple machines and probably one sled. So each machine that's on in the race, you'll see multiple of them that you can start warming up on. There'll be 1 or 2 sleds. There might be a few wall balls. So be rigid and organized about your stretching. And then the other thing you want to be doing is with active movements, getting your heart rate up a little bit. So do a little bit of work on each of the stations in the warm-up area. But that's the bit where you have to be flexible. And if you wanted to do it in order and you've done your ski erg, but the sled's occupied, then go grab a sandbag and do a few lunges. But make the most of that so that you're well and truly warm before you start.
Yeah, I think build into the warm up definitely. Start with the lowest intensity and lowest impact things and move yourself up. Some big venues have treadmills, so if you're wanting to, which I strongly advise everyone to do, warm up with some running. A lot of the time for me, that's meant having to go outside the venue and run around it, or find a stretch outside and run there. So I would do some ascending pace intervals. So I would start off with maybe 5-minute jog, and then I do maybe 2 minutes at threshold or 3 minutes at threshold. Usually no more than 2, just for my capacity. So 2 minutes at race pace, followed by some slower running, and then mixed in with some strides. So definitely find somewhere to run. And I would also make sure before you touch any of the race weight stations to get some either biking, running, skiing, or rowing in. So use the ergs, I would, before going into race weight, just to get yourself fully warmed up before you're touching that sort of high-end stuff, definitely, with the whole increase your heart rate slowly.
Okay. Number 5 is about the race wave. But for those of us not trying to win our wave, it doesn't matter where in the wave you are. So for me, that means I'd like to be at the back, because I'm not going to be outpacing everyone in front of me, so I don't have to worry about trying to plow through other people. Your time doesn't start until you cross the start line. It's like a half marathon or a marathon in that regard. It's irrelevant where in the wave you are. Now, if you are trying to win your wave, you want to try and be in the front row. I don't want to say win your wave. That's not.
Do you reckon if Grandad started ahead of the guy in red that we would have won? Do you reckon that would have made the difference?
I think I'm going to need to impose an embargo
on these
on all
relay jokes
mentions of the family relay. And if I see anyone else wearing red, I'm just going to trip them up,
See red.
just in case it's him. I think if Grandad hadn't done the extra lap, would have beaten that team. I
Wow,
think
you
that's
can't,
you know.
you can't put that on Granddad. So not only did he lose it for us, he's also now trying to blame his 84 whatever year old dad for our loss.
Well, he's more
That's
intelligent than
no,
me. I expected greater things
that's
of
not
him, you
right.
know.
No, that's not right. Speaking of,
So
is that him?
speaking of Brendan,
Oh no, no.
that's fine. Okay.
Some red Ford just pulled in.
Number 6, make sure you watch other waves and watch from various stations. So again, this is part of the kind of before you have your race. Don't just kind of stand there and watch aimlessly. Go to the different stations, inside the running area, and just watch how the individual stations go. And you mentioned earlier, Jude, about make a note of where people come in and make a note of where they go afterwards. And again, you won't be able to memorize all of that. And for most of the time, you just follow the person in front of you who's just finished before you, and you can follow them out. But there might be a time when you're near the back or the front, or there's a gap in the middle, and it's good to know where you're going. So watch the other waves.
Yeah, I also think with that one, the sleds, a lot of the elites look. They say they look how they see how the sleds are looking. So for even people who aren't elites, I think mentally prepare yourself. If you're watching, say, sleds for 8 minutes and you see everyone is struggling, everyone is taking 4 breaks, maybe just manage your expectations. If you're going in there thinking, right, every lane I'm going to break it up once, maximum twice, and you go there and you see people, for example, who look way fitter than you breaking it up 3-4 times, maybe that'll help you be like, okay, maybe it is okay for this one if the sleds are looking a little bit harder today to break it up more. So it just give you a bit of mental preparation, being like to just manage your expectations with that one.
Number 7, when you're going to the stalls, the shopping area before or probably after your race, remember Puma aren't the only brand that make good shoes for doing Hyrox in. And certainly, you probably don't need to jump straight with the £195 Deviate Nitro Elite 3s.
But they are good shoes, Puma.
They are very good shoes. You don't waste your money by training in them. And if you need to shave off 15 seconds of your sub-hour time, that's probably the shoe to get. That will definitely be the shoe to get. If like me, you're not looking to shave 15 seconds off, you're looking to shave chunks off your really slow time, then maybe spend a bit less money.
Yeah, just shoes can help, but they won't make the difference. So
right, not for the likes of me.
Have that for the quote of the week. How about that one?
And the last point: have an inexpensive warm top for after your race, because most of these venues aren't warm, and as you stand around being soaked in sweat, you'll get really cold and stinky and horrible. So have a nice inexpensive warm top, preferably handed to you by your support team, who can then congratulate you on this staggeringly awesome scale of human achievement that you've just accomplished, and give you a good big hug and keep you warm. So that's the final one. Quick recap then. Number 1, make sure you know the rules and the penalties. Number 2, get to the venue at least 90 minutes before your wave is due to start. 3, study the course map on paper and even more so in person when you get there. 4, get your stretches organized, and be flexible on the stations for your warm-ups. Number 5, if you're trying to win your wave, get to the front. If you're not trying to win your wave, don't worry about where you start in your wave. Number 6, watch the other waves from the various stations so you get a sense of what goes on. Number 7, don't sweat getting the most expensive shoes. Just get ones that work for you and that are comfortable. And the final one, have a good, warm, inexpensive top after the race. Okay. That takes us on to our regular spot for League of Hybrid Fitness Sports, where the table currently sits in 4th place with darts at 56.5, followed by cricket with 572, rugby at 615, and football at 740. And as promised, further to for the first time in 35 years, I think, with Sumo, an official Sumo Basho coming to the UK, to the Royal Albert Hall. our hybrid fitness sport to be assessed today is sumo.
And no offense, but to the 99.87% of you that had no idea what that is, neither did I. So don't worry.
I had no idea what is sumo.
Sumo fascio.
Basho.
Basho.
A basho is an official tournament. They have, I think it's 6 tournaments a year, 6 main tournaments a year, and they're called bashos.
Right.
So I might have more to say about this one than you, because I think I've watched a lot more sumo over the years than you have, partly out of a sense of fellow feeling.
So we could do 2 things here. Either we keep the same ranking in that I've ranked them all to this point, so I can do it with less sumo knowledge than you, or you could do it. But I think if I do it, and then if you have any brief reasoning as to why you think it should be higher or lower, then you can interject, and then we could settle on that as a score if you want to do that.
I will feel more free than ever to interject in that case.
Okay.
Cardiovascular endurance.
Didn't have to mention that then. 20.
Okay, so they compete for between 5 and 30 seconds, a minute, very occasionally. That seems high.
Oh. Do they not have like a whole load of rounds?
Nope. A proper basho will last 15 days, and you have 15 fights. The one in the Albert Hall is 5 days, one a day for 5 days. You'll be physically active somewhere between 5 and 60 seconds a day.
Okay. 3.
There we go. Muscular endurance. Bearing in mind, those 5 to 60 seconds are spent in extreme output.
I'm going to say 35.
Okay. Strength is going to be,
I'm going to say,
right up there.
92.
Power. And remind me of the difference again between strength and power.
Power takes into account velocity, so speed.
Oh, so even higher than, even more important. This is going to be close to 100, surely.
Well,
it's about their ability to kind of wrestling style use the weight of the other person, but ultimately most of the victories come from physically ejecting the other person, not from trickery.
They'll be very fast twitch dominant, so I doubt they'll have a single slow twitch muscle fiber in their body. Power, but they're also super heavy, so their top speed is limited. Their acceleration is probably quite good. So
the acceleration
I'd put that 90.
0 to 2 yards is going to be incredible. Yeah.
90.
Flexibility. Now, you wouldn't think this needed much. You wouldn't think it.
No.
But it does need, because the contortions they have to get into, and you see just there at the start of each bout. So they have a whole ceremony of throwing salt onto the dojo, and they have a routine of kind of going down on their haunches, and they will sometimes, as they are crouching, put one leg in the air, so their legs are almost in a straight line. They kind of do the splits, but one foot is on the ground and the other's up here. So, and that's not, they don't get flexible like that because they want to do that one thing. They're able to do that one thing because they need to be so flexible with the contortions they get into during the bouts. So I think this has got to be a pretty high one.
Okay, well, Jude Reynolds is going to put it at 40. What would Paul Reynolds put it at?
I'm bumping it up to 50. Agility.
Don't shoot the messenger, guys.
Less so.
That's all I'm saying. 25.
Balance. Relatively high.
88. I think that's got to be super high. Because avoiding the outer circle, like having to be able to distribute their weight in a way that exactly.
Okay. Coordination.
This is like body awareness and everything like that as well. So
not much.
70.
Much.
Really? Coordination. Knowing where to grab the opponent, how to hold them precisely in a matter of seconds to change the angle at which they're being pushed out at. No?
Yeah. I'd put it in the 60s or 70s.
Okay, yeah.
68. Accuracy. Nothing.
5.
Speed. 2 yards doesn't count.
That's 10.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That then gives us. We're going to have to. You don't have a poem handy, do you?
A poem, no.
No,
I
no,
can
no.
think of one though, which will probably be better than the one I read last week. To be honest with you.
That's not possible.
What fair dues dost thou, lady, lie? I do not know, so don't ask me why. My shirt is from WoDLETE the company, and I have. Oh, I can't. I wish I could freestyle. You know
I
Juice
wish you
WRLD,
could
right?
freestyle too.
Yeah.
I know Juice WRLD. My son's into Juice WRLD, so of course I know. Oh, that's you. Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's me.
the scores are in. It didn't beat football. That's the bad news. I'm disappointed about that. It also didn't beat rugby. So football still has the lead with 740. Rugby is
Right.
still in
Yeah.
second with 615. However, sumo did beat darts. So that's encouraging. So
Okay.
sumo has come in at 466 for a solid and respectable fourth place out of 5 in the League of Hybrid Fitness Sports. And bearing in mind that my favourite sumo wrestler of all time came in at £620 at his fighting peak, I think the fact that he's made it into these charts at all is a testimony to his athletic ability. Not that he necessarily considers himself a hybrid fitness athlete. Okay, so before we are done, we have our quote for the day. Today's quote is by Jay Cutler. You remember who that is?
Yeah, of course. Bodybuilder.
There we go. And he was world champion twice?
Right after
world
Ronnie
champion.
Coleman. I think he had more than twice, wasn't he?
So he was behind Ronnie for a long time.
Yeah.
He was Mr. Runner-up for a while. But his quote for today is that I have to respond to, and then you can frown at my
4
response
times.
to the quote that I picked.
4
times.
times.
Okay, and all after Ronnie, right? Okay.
Yeah.
He said, "What hurts today makes you stronger tomorrow," which presumably means to training rather than bad breakups and falling out of trees.
Yeah,
but
that tree one wouldn't really help.
No. So I'm thinking that it really rather depends what the pain is. I don't find that one terribly helpful.
Could that not be a thing?
What?
Like you give a quote of the week and I bash the quote of the week. Yeah.
And that was where my laptop battery ran out. On that note of slightly revising our quote of the week strategy, do remember to go to wodlete.co.uk, use code HFRPOD20 for 20% off your functional fitness clothing. And please remember to like and follow and subscribe, as well as reviewing wherever you get your podcasts. And we're on Instagram at Hybrid Fitness Report. Thanks again for listening and speak to you soon. Bye-bye.